All right.
Nice.
So I'll reintroduce. Hi, everyone. My name is Stephen Yissilmissil. I'm here with Tom Althouse again for our part 11 interview on the
Hmm.
Yissilmissil Productions channel. And it's great to have you back here, Tom. I know we've talked more than once in the past month, and we uncovered quite a lot of new bits of information that's vital to your case. And and I don't even know where to start with that. All than to just say Tom Hanks is involved big time, and uh, we found a few. We found one of the people that's a judge that's been a
Hmm.
key player. So
Hmm.
we'll be talking a lot about that today.
Yeah.
But
So right out of the gate, go ahead. Right out of the gate, the Tom Hanks thing is just mind blowing.
yeah, so yeah, we we kind of found out that he has a production company, and he had the production company listed down on his copy of the Immortals that he tried to copyright before Tom, but he was 2 months too late. And it was around what, the early '99 they tried doing
Yeah,
that.
right in early '99. Yeah, both
But
him and
Tom
Windows.
got it in December of '98, so he beat Tom Hanks and Wendy Wasserstein. So those are really big deals too. I mean, for you to have yours in place first before theirs, you have the entire script that's
Right. Right.
copywritten, but
Right.
theirs is like 1 or 2 pages, and it
Right.
says so right in the copyright. And
Right.
what did they copyright exactly? Like, I'd like to find out.
Yeah. And
But
then
we'd
to
have to
say,
pay like
yeah.
$100 a pop to get these copyright things. Am
Well,
I guessing
he
that right?
yeah, and he says that he's ordered and commissioned by Warner Brothers as their employee for hire to steal the work, The Immortals. It's just wow, unbelievable. Creating a slot at the Copyright Office. Yeah, it's a blow away.
Yeah, and it seems
Absolute
like
blow away.
they've done this too, even after production on Matrix and Joel Silver stuff continued to be greenlit. It's like they kept going back to the copyright office to continually copyright the Immortals like over and
Mm-hmm.
over. It,
Mm-hmm.
so that's another mystery we'll have to try to untangle. But it's I mean, we all know where it leads to, which is the theft of your work. So
And it goes to Joel Silver saying, he's quoted as saying in articles and on set in 2003, we hope we used up the rest of the story. The goal was to use up the rest of the story. And what was the story? The Immortals. They put and they found all these different people that weren't even screenwriters. I mean, Tom Hanks isn't a screenwriter.
no,
And they listed him as commissioned in order to write the Immortals. It's just you couldn't get better than that. No wonder Kate Chilton, the one that orchestrated all of this, is on the run. She was the lady that was senior litigator at Warner Brothers after being just a clerk or associate for years at other firms. She suddenly bumps up to top position for the theft, just like the Wachowskis failed at everything they do. They're put in top position to steal the work, just like Sophia Stewart's brought out of USC after failing at everything to be the first claimant for the work. Just like Tom Hanks is then given it when he's not even a writer. So it's just like this whole hodgepodge of stupidity where they put this thing that's so telling in place. And then Kate Chilton is the one that showed up at my deposition. She's the one that testified against me in this thrown case. She's the one that goes to Netflix to launder through Netflix when Joe Silver goes Oliver Carbon, and the Wachowskis defendants also do Sense8. She covers for them there. Then she becomes at Superior Court judge, where you pointed out that she didn't even have an election. They suspended the elections and just put her back in.
yeah,
So it's like,
that was pretty
for the
wild to
theft.
see.
Yeah.
And I think it
Yeah.
was like 2020, so perfect timing.
Yeah. 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 Right in time. And then she does this cover article, which is really interesting, which is shown to me. Mom sent me this. In May 7, 2019, she does this whole thing to cover her butt to say that anytime you stipulate that a trial that a court thing can go forward, if you stipulate they can go forward after latches are lost and run out, then those latches run again. It's like, why is she putting this? The only article you can really find on her, and she only shows this one face picture. She's basically disappearing for the web. So she's trying to
What's
close
that
the door
from?
behind her. This is called the Daily Journal. It's from Los Angeles and San Francisco, and it's a perspective. It's a cover article to make sure that when she's running for the hills here, she's saying, "You can't do latches on me. I mean, you're gonna be struck by the death knell of latches. So the clock ran out on you, Tom. You can't do anything, and I'm gonna get free here." That's the whole purpose of this article. Unbelievable. Yeah.
So it looks like a pamphlet. Was that like just locally distributed in San Francisco?
San Francisco, Los Angeles, and San Francisco. www.dailyjournal.com. It's like a little, it looks like a little cover your butt thing where they get this little laundering device. So it's a little part of it. Yeah. Instructions for toilet paper and the laundering machine of the intellectual property theft.
It's like those independent newspapers that were circulating around election time.
Put something on record, put something down on record, create your own record source. Yeah. It's a journal.
Very interesting.
Very interesting. Last thing she does. Yeah. Besides she
were you able to find that letter that she allegedly sent to Sophia Stewart?
Well, that's a topic that I can't really discuss right now.
Okay, sorry about that.
But I can tell you, we found all the references to it too, right? We found those references, so we're in good shape. But an interesting thing that they're trying to cover that up. Yeah.
Yeah, there was. So I mean, we were doing a little digging around last week for Tom Hanks, firstly, with this copyright stuff, and then Kate Shilton as well. But
boy, we found stuff on her. My God.
Excellent. Yeah, because I mean, it was a pretty time sensitive day to get information before it was scrubbed off the net. So
right.
I think we got a majority of what we needed. But
I can't discuss everything we got.
Yeah, we'll move on.
We got
them.
We got them. But yeah, I can't say much more of that. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So, I mean, we've been trying to figure out like how is Tom Hanks involved? Like we already know he's friends with Larry and Andy, and as we dug further into it, we found that he basically tried to like say that he wrote the Immortals.
Yes, like a certificate of authorship of 3 pages, certificate of authorship. And then that's that entry that's so amazing is that he says, he's ordered and commissioned to write it.
Yeah, that was something that caught my eye too.
Yeah.
So
and then,
normally, you're commissioned or you're assigned, but he was ordered to make this copyright. That actually
claiming to be an employee of Warner Brothers, that he was ordered as an employee of Warner Brothers to write it. Can you imagine someone approaching you, Steven, and going, you're in our company now, and we're ordering you to do this? Sounds like the military. Doesn't sound like a studio.
Yeah. I mean, well, when the people at the top are connected
to
the military.
Well, that's what you discovered when you found out his associate Altman, whatever it was,
works
for the military. He works for the military. So I think they just did a really stupid thing where it shows,
Howard Altman.
Yeah,
Howard Altman, the heavy arms journalist.
Yes. So isn't it interesting? I would
all that type of stuff.
I would venture ordered is coming because the military ordered it. It's just like, wow, the Pentagon ordered it. We're seeing more and more of the fingers in the pie.
We're getting more evidence that these entities are not separate.
No,
they're all in bed with each other.
It's an animal with a lot of legs. So that's exactly it. And now they're being caught. The spider's being caught. So yeah. But yeah, that's such a find. I think that's one of the things that sent her running was that whole the Chilton letter, and that Sophia Stewart had it on her site displayed so clearly, and she struck it. Sophia Stewart struck it from her site after we talked about it, and Chilton resigned when she's supposed to be in office till 2029. She left right away. As soon as it was brought forward, she resigned and ran. So this is very interesting. It's like we've got them, and this is the lady who orchestrated the whole process and theft, and also presented Elon Musk the tech. That's why in Iron Man 2, as we said, he's cameoed there by Warner Brothers. They wouldn't just stick him in there. Out of all the people on the planet, they stick him in there to make him, primed to take the Neuralink tech, which is actually called the enhancer. So yeah, there's so many bad things about the enhancer, and he only tells us the good. That should be a telltale sign for many people that he's not talking about the bad things about the Neuralink. There's so many bad things. It was meant for the story, not for Mark of the Beast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, these guys have no ideas of their own.
No.
They realize they killed a lot of probably the would-be inventors from all these wars. And then here we are. They're trying to steal ideas out of screenplays to
Exactly.
implement into real life for their own like strive for power. I mean, it's like a lust for power with them.
That's right. And then telling the authors that we're assets. They tell us that we're assets. We're considered assets. And that our families will be taken care of and safe if we behave ourselves as assets. It's unbelievable. And the government, the Pentagon, like we said, they view us as property of the state. That anything we create is for the state. That's why they have that Iron Man, again, that Iron Man entry. You'll see that clip where character Obadiah, has just used a neutralizing device or paralyzing device on Tony Stark. And he's sitting on a couch like, and he takes his thing out and says, you think just because you create something that it's yours? Tony, come on. And then he says, I got your Oben Magnus. I got your best creation right here. And, so that's how they view us. They put it right in the movie. That's how the Pentagon sees us, that we are the assets. And really, the top in this country, the top coordinator of the cabal isn't Hollywood studios, isn't the banking system. It's the Pentagon. That's who's actually controlling this nation and allowing the other agencies under the Pentagon to operate in foreign soil and create, testing on people in Ukraine and other places like that. And there's some terrible footage now starting to surface about taking organs from children while they're still alive and things like this. Incredible, terrible things that the Pentagon is responsible for. So there will be a second Nuremberg trial. And a lot of the Pentagon officials are the ones that will be tried and executed publicly, and rightly so. A lot of the FBI and CIA agent heads too will be tried and publicly executed. And I look forward to that day where peace is restored in the world. And Russia and China are now moving against the U.S. on pointing out the biolab experimentations and the audacity of the U.S. News media to claim, and government to claim that, we can't let the Russians get a hold of these labs in Ukraine. We got to stop them. Why? What are you hiding from the public that is so terrible that the Russian soldiers get a hold of, or Russia gets a hold of? Biolab technology? Strains of why? Oh, you're going to protect the U.S. population. Wait, it's targeting the DNA of white Russian males? Sounds like the Pentagon, you're the aggressor. And that Putin's trying to protect himself more and more. And America's waking up to that we are Berlin, World War II. The Pentagon's that we are the aggressors, that we are the ones that are going on sovereign nation soil and disrupting their lives, destroying their infrastructures, and testing on their people. We are the Stalin of the day. Yeah.
Where do you think the petrodollar sits on all this?
Good question. I don't even know what that is. I don't even know what the petrodollar is.
So the world reserve currency for gasoline and oil production is the US dollar, and so that's why it's called the petrodollar.
Really? I didn't know that.
So I'll say two things here. If the US dollar is fiat currency, it is always going to inflate because there are no checks and balances.
Right. Plus it's a loan.
It's doomed to crumble.
Yeah.
There will be a crash worse than 08, and there might even be a faster recovery, but nothing's going to be the same. Once these other countries start cutting off the US dollar as a legit form of currency and start recommending using a ruble or something else, it's already happening.
But I can see it too,
once
Steven.
it's
yeah.
You see multiple countries coming on the same side being like, no more US dollar. So let's say our purchasing power as a country declines. Where do you see us in our role in the world moving forward after that point?
I think what's going to happen is we're going to be brought to trial. We're going to see a second Nuremberg trial. And
Who
I
do you
think you're going
think
to see
would
some.
conduct it? Would it be the U.S. like
It'll
within the
be a nation.
Patriots?
It'll be a group of nations. It'll be
Okay.
representatives of a group of nations that are benefactors or considered, humanitarians. I believe I'll be, if we show that we're the enhancer, Neuralink, and everything else, and get our property rights back and everything, since Chilton's on the run, I would be invited to be part of that. I'm told. And so what's interesting is that you'll see a situation where it'll be cross nation boundaries. It'll be actually a mirror of the one world order of benevolent people taking charge of the reins of that wild horse. And so and that's what's in the screenplay. If a one worlder is going to happen, let's try to make it a benevolent one. So what you're going to see is a forced coming together of different nations to right these wrongs. See, and that could give us 70 years of peace and such. But you're also going to see this rising, what I think is going to be called as the free dollar. You're going to see what's called the free dollar, and I believe that's what they'll call it. I
Yeah.
could be wrong, but your free dollar will be just replacing the whole monetary game. And you're going to see people that are holding on to the U.S. dollar, which is loan notes, Federal Reserve, and it's like what happened in the Confederacy in the Civil War. You're going to see this suddenly the federal promissory notes, which is the U.S. dollar currently, will be worthless. And all these people that have U.S. dollars, it'll be worthless. And so it'll be like the Confederate notes back in the Civil War when it ended and the carpetbaggers ended in. You'll see a free dollar instituting, which is also going to have sanctioning by or acceptance by other different countries. You're going to see basically a new alliance for a better world. And people will be suspect of that at first, of course, but it's to counter this new world order with the nefarious ones in charge. And this new alliance will take on new members, almost like the euro dollar did, but it's going to be a thing where we're actually going to have a focal point mission statement of righting the world, freeing the kids, things like that. So it'll be mainly fostered and shepherded by artists, visionaries, actual inventors, not the ones that are the faux ones like Elon Musk claiming their work, but actually the real people claiming their rights. And you'll see also an insurgency of or resurrection of court cases where all these stifling measures will be removed, and it'll be about bringing forward the truth and healing. So you'll have court cases not controlled by the cabal anymore, where it'll be freed up on statutes and everything to help our world heal and reset and actually get to the bottom of what the truth actually is, not gamemanship. So that's going to scare the trash out the other side. Their attorneys will lose power. They'll be neutered. And you'll see a whole new bringing forward of cases, which also work with the algorithms of using the net and drawing actual conclusions from gathering instantly all this information off the net and buried items off the dark web. You're going to see cases rerouted, reinvented, and redefined, and decisions. So yeah,
Yeah, I think that the analytics, everything on the internet, like we are not as connected as we should be.
mm-hmm.
We'd be blown away if all of these restrictions were ever taken off, and the immediacy of sharing of information that would happen thereafter. It'd
That's what's
probably
coming.
crash the internet at first, but
Well, that's what's coming. That's what's coming. So they know it's coming. The agencies know it's coming. That's why they declassified all these documents, including World War II. Now we know, and this is so wild because the screenplay got it right. Now we know that the CIA and the FBI and the Pentagon knew exactly where Hitler was, and that what we predicted, that he left for Bavaria. He had his total structure up in the Bavarian Alps, all set for him. He wouldn't just let that go. And so he went there, and there was the route through Italy done by the Catholic Church and the Red Cross. And we now know from all these classified documents now being revealed that the FBI and CIA knows where Hitler was exploiting our Operation Paperclip much more than just Brahm and the rest for the rockets. They were actually seeing with the Vatican, determining that to defeat communism, we needed the fascists. So Hitler was allowed to live. That's all out in the documents now. They knew exactly where he was. So now they release this documentary, right? They release this documentary showing all this, and we're supposed to, like Sound of Freedom, we're supposed to believe that the agencies are good guys in this documentary. No, it's very clear that they're releasing these information that says we knew. And the reason the Red Cross was doing all this paperwork for allowing the with the Vatican for these Nazi criminals to get is because the Pentagon green-lighted and told the Red Cross to allow that to happen. See, they said, do it, go ahead and do it. So the Red Cross did it with such impunity. They were allowed to do it. Clearly, all these thousands of German high-ranking people and officials, including the Angel of Death guy, they allowed
Yeah,
them
they all
all
got,
to,
they got brought over to the
they got
US.
new lives. They even absolved them of they actually gave them a baptism in the church, in the Catholic Church. They gave them baptisms and new names for new identities, as if doing it before God with a baptism, and then entered in the book.
It's almost
It's
like
unbelievable.
Can I do a hot take here?
Go. Yeah.
It's almost like they knew that these German officials and everybody involved, for the most part, were good people, and that they just didn't want the country to have their own currency and their own, like their own banks. Because I mean, that's what I've dug into with all that,
Sure.
and it seems like the catalyst was Germany creating their own currency prior to World War II. And
They didn't. Yeah.
it didn't work well for the cabal, so they
You
needed to
know,
go make this whole story of incinerating everybody in a few years, which the
well,
math doesn't even work out. But
you know what? What's interesting too is that the tech. Here we go with the tech. Elon Musk is given the enhancer, calls it Neuralink by Warner Brothers, and all that Nazi tech is why Hitler was spared and the rest of his team. Not only to block communism, but we wanted to advance on the tech. We don't want to stop. So they actually allowed, what's it called? Dirty water, whatever they call it, the nuclear water they need. They were bringing
it's like spent water,
heavy water or something.
Yeah.
They were sending it down to South America. So now we have the proof of that too. And very ingenious way where they had submarines where the planes would fly and land on the submarine and then go off again, refueling the submarines. They actually had this mass exodus with the Catholic Church, Pentagon, Red Cross, all allowing it and documenting it, where they can continue the work. And so the Nazis were working on the atomic bomb under the control of the Pentagon in the end. So what they showed us with Oppenheimer and the rest was the showpiece they wanted to show. They didn't show what was going on in South America at the same time, with Nazis still doing the tests with Hitler there. So they had a deal with Hitler to continue the testing on all this weaponry and designs, and so that's why a lot of this tech isn't revealed at the time. So it all came true. What we said in the screenplay all came true. And that's why they try to mock it even still. Yeah. So now they drip feed it. It's amazing, Stephen, the time we live in. And we're not shocked because we were trying to warn people about it coming. But
and I always had my suspicions that they were thieves to begin with. And sure, yeah, between your story and what I went through in college with that one shot that was used in Breaking Bad, like they proved me right that they are thieves.
Yes, they are. And now
they have no original thoughts of their own.
They do not. They do not.
I can throw shit on the wall and they'll go put up those
they'll patent
those barriers for people to walk in a line and be like, look at this, it's amazing. But they'll throw somebody else's name on it too. So I mean, that's just the way that they operate.
And then you see that U.S. and England actually groomed Hitler, and that the German bloodline, the English royalty, is descended from the German royalty.
But
it's the German royalty.
Where did he really step out of line then? That they practically just started the whole.
We did the thing with Saddam Hussein. We did the same thing. We're the ones that put him in power, groomed him, put him in place. It was CIA, FBI, Pentagon, and then they say they have a phrase. They say, "If we make you, we can break you." And they did that to me. They make you and they break you. So they feel good about that. And so they made Saddam Hussein. They broke him. They made Hitler and then they break him. And they get to be the good guys while they break the person they made and put in place. But they don't want anybody to look at how they made them. So, but in Hitler's case,
they put Hitler on Time Magazine Man of the Year.
Yeah, oh, there you go. And they didn't really break him, did they?
Before the war.
There you go. They didn't break him. They actually moved him and set him up and took care of him. Isn't that incredible?
No, exactly like you had said. They build them up and then they break them down.
That's right. So what we have is this whole, and then we find out the real power behind the cabal, and that blew my mind when that Contact, which I have on tape, sorry, Contact, had on tape. I haven't released that tape, but I will later if they can talk to us. Anyway, enough of that. That tape says, he explains to me exactly who the real power is. He says, not the movie moguls. He says, they're just nothings in the pie. I'm like, okay. You know, when they're making that offer to come out to California. And so he says, like, it's not even the Bank of England. Really? No, it's not really even the English royalty. But okay. So who's the real power of the cabal? You ready? The Vatican. The Vatican is a city unto itself, a nation unto itself. It was the only intact nation after World War II. After World War II, the only intact sovereign nation was the Vatican. And so they're the ones that made sure the Nazis, for the Pentagon, were transported to the US to stop communism. So that's really, really amazing to me that the cabal's real power is the church. The ones really calling this. Then you get into Illuminati and everything else. Great.
Well, I think
I
the
don't know how many.
church is compromised right now.
The
It's
church
not
is a
following
personality cult.
Jesus.
The
Yeah,
church, it's a personality cult. It's been groomed that way. It's about membership, and all these people worship their pastor. And it's all about his personality, and he feels like God's among his flock. He's not ministering to them. He's a personality cult. So there's so much corruption going to come out, and I'll be like yawn boring on the church corruption, not with kids being hurt, but with all their, you know,
yeah. All these
annoying.
anti-religion people like getting excited and jumping up and down every time there's like a priest being convicted for
We can
touching
count on it.
children. That's like they're celebrating it. It's like, hey, I think you're celebrating for the wrong reasons. Like
The whole,
you don't
yeah,
agree with religion, and you're saying, "Ha ha, he got caught touching kids." But then you turn a blind eye to what Hollywood's doing with that too, and the trafficking stuff
mhm.
that's still happening. More blown out, or I mean, it's a bigger issue than what
Yeah.
the
The
Sound of
religion,
Freedom movie
yeah.
showed.
Oh
So
God, yeah. Sound of Freedom. I can't stand that movie. Like what they did was just they covered for the agencies. They covered for the agencies and said it's other people, other places. No, it's this country that does the worst trafficking. And Sound of Freedom was a cover for the FBI and CIA when they're getting caught for child trafficking. So what a
if these people
disservice.
really, yeah, like the actors and Mel Gibson, if they really cared about all this crap, like they'd be on this 24/7.
They'd be on it. That's what
It wouldn't just be
I've been saying. They've been
PR
saying
for a movie release.
they would be saying there's so much more need to be done. Let us help other people. Let's get other movies out there. Let's get so much more. We just scratched the surface. That's what they'd be saying. They would
They
be
should
going
have just
like,
launched a whole documentary, like the release of Sound of Freedom and us uncovering more children that went missing, or
it's
something like
exactly
that.
what was predicted. What predicted was the agency were going to release a couple kids and then say that, look, we did this, we did this. I said that they wouldn't be going for the masses of kids. They just released a couple to cover themselves. And that it would like we're heroes, we're heroes. That's exactly what that piece tries to do. And then they're supposed to people are supposed to go, well, it does some good, it touches upon the it shuts down the solving of the problem by stopping other people from doing it, basically, because they're arguing that they're the ones that did it first and that's it. We're the good guys, and they're trying to get this hero worship. So it's very, very frustrating. But I'll tell you, the whole church system is diseased. It really is diseased. It turned into a personality cult. And what's going to happen is, like in the screenplay, it talks about a remnant coming. People are actually cool Christians, cool believers of different faiths are going to come together, and they're supposed to go like, oh, that's one world order church. No, they're going to have people actually resurrecting the idea of just pure faith in God. And it's going to be amazing, absolutely amazing. Apart from all this person, you won't have personality cults. You'll have pastors to get up there to preach to ministers of their flock and not be about all them, all them, all them, all them, and try to be ooey ooey worshipped. So it's going to be actual ministering to people where you're going to see humility in these pastors. That's going to be a refreshing sight, refreshing sight. So I walked into a local church just the other day, a couple of weeks ago, basically, and it was like the pastor came up to meet me, and right away I was just like so thunderstruck because he came up like, yeah, I'm the pastor of the church, like he's expecting praise. I'm an actor. I can read internal monologue, and I can see what's going on. He's just like, yeah, I'm Pastor so and so. When I told him who I was, he ran away. So yeah, he actually went to his office, didn't come out. Because I said there's responsibility to bring forward the truth in the churches. He didn't want that. He simply wanted to be admired by the ladies in his flock. So
These people should be preaching about Jesus Christ every single day, and instead
instead, they're
they're
giving little
putting up
anecdotes.
rainbow flags outside of the churches and
Mhm.
telling them that everybody is welcome. That includes the sin and the act of sinning
Yeah,
while
yeah,
it's happening.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
you
yeah.
can't admonish any sin whatsoever anymore. I don't know where
Well,
we're at.
Stephen,
I went
how
to
you?
Catholic school, and
Yeah,
this stuff is completely absurd to me what the media is accepting as okay these days.
Well, how are you going to be popular and get your membership ratings up if you don't open up to everything and put God aside? You've got to, if you're going to get your membership up, you got to recruit to everybody, advertise to everybody, and make sure you got that makeup on really well, and make sure you look like like you're God's gift to women, and then you get your membership up. It's all about that. Yeah, according
And
to
then they
them.
have uh, about like an hour and a half away from me in Naperville. There's a satanic church out there, and the only reason it exists is to mock God. It is not a religion. It's only there
That's
to mock God.
that's what
So
the honeypot wife took me to this Unity Church in Spokane, Washington, after she cut us all off, 8 and 9. And we met this pastor there, and they have the symbols of all the different, one world order faiths in around the sanctuary thing. And it was insane. The guy was like talking to us. I'm like, whoa, what are you? What kind of church are you? This Unity Church, unity of one world order churches for a one world order church. I was like, wow, embrace, having all the symbols up. I was like,
I could see
okay.
how this could sneak up on the normal individual too. Like they show up to the
Absolutely.
church and then they just get sucked into this world. It's like, wait, okay, I
Oh
guess
yeah.
I'm part of the unity. Like,
Oh, you walk in it. You're right. You walk in, it's clean and it's pretty and it's very up to date. And you look in the sanctuary and there's a place for the music ministry and there's all the symbols around you. All those symbols around you. So you can put satanic symbols in the church worship center, the church itself, in really beautiful ways. And yeah, it gets by. Gets by. Yeah.
I don't know.
There's so much going on. There's so much going on. But what we discovered with Tom Hanks, though, back to that, we've got
Yeah,
Chilton on the run. We've got him on the run. The Cabal's top architects are on the run right now. And that goes back to the whole idea of the screenplay is what they were afraid of, because that actually brought them all together to steal it. And now they don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to stop it. And so since we outlasted them and words going out, they're really concerned about interviews and the documentary coming, but mainly interviews too. That's why Kate Chilton's on the run. That's why she's fleeing, because she's caught and they're doing everything they can to close the door behind them and try to shut it all down. But nothing's stopping it. Nothing's stopping us. We're going to doggedly stay on their trail and not cease. So, like, I got 4 interviews today with you. 4 interviews I have today. So, and it's like they did not stop us, did they? Did not stop. Because I'm on your program, 3 others. They're not stopping us. And it's driving them crazy. They thought they had all the power to shut everything we had down. So, are you looking for a particular document?
yeah. I was looking at the bookmarks that I had. I was looking for the Tom Hanks.
I'll put it up.
Link.
Hold on. Let me go to share screen.
Yeah, go for it.
Because I want you to describe this too. I want you to look at this too. Okay, here we go. Ready? Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Here's the breakdown. And I can pull up individually too. So what you have here, as you can see, is the original Immortals, right? This is the 1998 version. The first version was 93, complete, 93. And then you have the submission letter here. And that submission letter, no getting around it. If we look at that, the submission letter is dated as June 25th, 1993. See it? Tracking number, receipt, everything, 4,000 Warner Bros. Lane certified letter. So this is going in, obviously they can't beat this, 93. And so if we go back out again on this, look at the entries with Tom Hanks being brought. 1998 version here, December. And what's he claiming? He's claiming June 98, 25th. So June 25th is the submission letter. June 25th, they pick as an arbitrary date for execution. They're just picking an arbitrary date. It really, what matters is when they enter the date of recordation. So when they
Yeah,
actually enter the records.
the certification
Yeah,
date,
when the Copyright Office gets it is February
which
1999.
chronologically, going off of these dates and yours came first at the end of December of '98, and this is just for this particular time frame we're talking about.
That's right.
December '98 for the Immortals, for you, Tom Althouse. Then, not even a month later, January in '99 is when Tom Hanks rolls in, and then another 10 months go by, and Wendy Wasserstein rolls in. all
Right.
on the Immortals.
That's right.
So
That's
that's
right.
the most glaring and like solid piece of information here that we're dealing with recently is that
Yeah.
these two people tried to jump in before you, but you got them first, or you
Right.
got
And
it
you,
in first.
yeah, and look at this. It says Warner Brothers is the assignee, assigning the work to Tom Hanks. Employee for hire, Tom Hanks employee for hire. Tom Hanks employee for hire, listen again, ordered and commissioned by HBO and Warner Brothers, or HBO working for Warner Brothers. And it says 3 pages. And it says authorship, certificate of authorship. So he's the certificate of authorship of 3 pages under my title, creating a placard or a slot at the Copyright Office to put the work in when it's done. And when did they shoot it? 1999, right? 1999. So Tom Hanks is somebody who's not a writer, not an
So
employee of Warner Brothers, but for the purpose of stealing the work, he's listed as an assignee, or that he's assigned. And then Tom Hanks's own company, which you'd found out, Clavius Base, is Tom Hanks, the president of the company, is the assigner. So wait a minute. So Tom Hanks is the president of the company that's the assigner that's ordering and commissioning Tom Hanks to write it. Tom Hanks is the president of the company ordering him and commissioning him to write it.
he's, it seems like he's doing this right as production is wrapping up. And the same thing with Wendy Wasserstein too,
Right. A
because
sign on.
98 is that year where they were, I think, still filming it.
Yeah, they were.
99,
99.
I mean, technically you could say it was still in production because all the CGI work, but from what I've looked at for IMDb, and we can't really trust IMDb anymore, but it says on there somewhere like near the end of 98 is when they stopped filming. But that doesn't mean production stopped because they're doing all the CGI, the bullet time, and all that stuff. And
Right.
while that's going on, all this is happening. But
Exactly.
I'm
Exactly.
just trying
Right
to
at the
wrap
right
my head
time.
around it right now. But
It's
that's
so
what I
much. It's
understand.
just this document, these documents are worth so much. Worth so much. They're so telling. Because there's no copyright on the Matrix, but there's a copyright on what's the screenplay we hold, Stephen? There's a copyright on the Immortals. Right
Mhm.
there. So they're trying to copyright this work when there's no copyright in the Matrix, commissioned by Warner Brothers. And look at Wendy Wasserstein's entry. Wendy Wasserstein is listed as an employee, like Tom Hanks is, and she's listed as certificate of authorship. How can Tom Hanks and Wendy Wasserstein have a certificate of authorship that's only 2 to 3 pages long, the work itself, and they are separate people at separate times claiming they authored it individually?
Yeah, and from both Time Warner. Like,
Both employees of Time Warner.
do they just have too many people working there that they don't understand they're having
Doesn't make any
duplicate
sense.
entries?
And how they come up with the Immortals, both of them at separate
Okay, yeah,
times.
so yeah, these big things here. There's duplicate entries here. There's also only 1.5 to 2 pages
Yeah,
for these. Tom Hanks
yeah.
says what? Two pages one to
Three,
three?
three, 1 to 3,
And Wendy
and
Wasserstein says pages 1 to 2.
one to
So
two.
they literally submitted 2 pages of a screenplay and 3 pages of a screenplay. And
Yes,
of what? We don't know. Like we can look this up, but like to get the copies, it costs a few $100 to get this stuff. Gotta be we need to be smart with where we're throwing all of our funding right now since we have none coming in trying to help us with
that's
this.
right. That's right.
So
And look at the entry too. It says the Immortals created by Wendy Wasserstein as a work for hire. That's the biggest clearly stated proof of a ripoff.
yeah,
That
as a
that
work for hire sounds like they're just like, hey, we need somebody to throw in on this name here for this title. So you
make it
write
for us.
something up quick and so that we can put your name to it and settle this.
She's like, okay, I got a coffee break. I'll write 2 pages and you can claim it then. They never thought we'd see this if we weren't notified about this. Look at this.
Oh, I don't think too many people are even looking this information up.
Nobody would. Yeah, unless we're notified. Employee, employer. Warner Brothers, the one that ripped off the Matrix with the Wachowskis, claims to be an employer. Wendy Wasserstein, who's not a film screenwriter, she never wrote film screens, plays, still hasn't even here. She wrote 2 pages, if that. So Wendy Wasserstein is the employee, not even a screenplay writer. Tom Hanks is an actor, not a screenplay writer, yet certificate of authorship. and employee for hire. Wow. You can't get better than this. No wonder they're on the run. And then there's tons more entries. Watch this. At the same time, we have these guys showing up. Watch this guy. What's it say here? Can you read it? Immortals 2000, recorded 2000, right? March 2000.
2000, yeah, March 7th, yes.
It says the Immortals proposed television motion picture, HBO and Warner Brothers, certificate of authorship and assignment. Employer for hire of Eric Roth and Vesta. So here we have the Immortals again. How many pages? 3. That he's certificate of authorship.
And it took them almost 2 years to get certified. What's that all about?
Now watch this. Nia Valdalis, work made for hire of HBO and Warner Brothers again. And how many pages? 5. Get industrious. 2000, March 2000. This is March 2000. So Eric Roth is March 2007, the 7th, March 7th, 2000. And this Valdoras is March 3rd, 2000. So within 4 days, you have 2 different people claiming authorship, working for HBO and Warner Brothers, commissioned to write it, claiming certificate of authorship and assignment both.
And both HBO films, or Home Box Office, and Time Warner.
And Warner Brothers. Look at this. Same thing. Within 4 days of each other. Oh,
this is stuff I want, like,
God.
on the court record. Like, get these people on the stand and be like, did you write this?
Absolutely.
Were you proud of this? You're proud of your 5 pages? What did you do this for?
That's right. Now watch this. Keep going. Okay. 1998. Back to Tom Hanks time, right? Let's go back to Tom Hanks. Hold on. Let's move these 2 clowns out of the way. Because that's what they are for doing this. How much do they get paid for going to steal? Where'd the entry go? Let me go back to it. Hold on. Let me get Tom Hanks's entry back up as soon as I find it. Tom Hanks. There it is, right there. Okay, here we go.
If you're just tuning in right now on the live stream here, we're talking about Tom's copyright for the Immortals and all these other players that tried to jump in and get it done before he was able to, but he got it done before all them. And we're just looking over all these attempts at trying to officially steal the work through the Copyright Office. So
right. And here we have date of recordation. So this is actually, now remember there's 1995, 93 entries, right? So we have previous ones that are full scripts.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going off of this one. 1998, July 1998, July 31st, 1998, we have James Dunn, employee of Home Boxes and Warner Bros. Again. And it says James Dunn is employee for hire and certificate of authorship for Immortals. 2 pages. Look at this. And there's people actually coming forward going, James Dunn wrote it. James Dunn wrote 2 pages and he can claim that he took my work, that he has my work, that he created it. 2 pages? What? When we have James Boyd of Norfolk submitting in June 25th, 1993, the Immortals. Look at this. So how many names are we showing that are commissioned, hired by Warner Brothers?
And these are recent searches too that you've made, correct? These
I was informed where to look, and I looked, and I just did it like maybe a couple days ago.
Yeah, if anybody is to go on to look for this copyright website, it is laid out like this. So it does look like it's from 98.
I did a video to make sure too. I'll show you the video I have, which will show and prove they could shoot them down.
The layout of this website, though, it's like they didn't change it from the time people submitted all this work.
That's
this is a pretty old format for it.
That's right. That's right.
Page.
Now, keep in mind, Pat Robertson had me submit through Ned and Judy Nankovich. There's players of his, cronies of his, that got positions at the story departments at Universal Studios and Disney. So here we have an entry Universal Pictures want to cash in. So we have Justin John Stanley and Michael Januscu listed as Immortals, them, and it says Universal Pictures, right? Who wanted in. Short form option, The Immortals by 1 page. Short form option, 1 page, claiming The Immortals. Remember creating slots? Universal wants their in there. Want to get in there? So this is done in 2000, April 2000. If we go back to these other ones.
Where does it say short form option on there?
Right here under notes.
Okay.
See
Sorry, I didn't
it?
catch
So
that.
that's all right. So we have, wow, that's crazy. 2004, April 17. This one's March 3rd with Nia Valdoz's 2000. And then this one is 2000 March 7th. And this one's April 17, 2000, with Universal Studios getting their licks in there, wanting their piece of the pie. Can you believe this? Now watch this little quip video real quick, and I'll show you that they can't get away with saying they don't, that we somehow photoshopped it. Watch.
So this is you filming your screen.
Making a proof of it.
Yep. Oh, wow. Why are there so many titles?
Look at them all. They want to create slots. Now watch the proof. See Nia, Justin,
Navy NCI.
Jack Dan.
Okay. So this is something we found out. If you can pause right here.
Yeah. Now watch this. You go to print format. There it is.
So it says Tom Hanks is employee for hire of Clavius Base. And we looked up Clavius Base. He's the president of
He's the
company.
president, right? He's the president of the company.
So
see how they can't get around it? They
I
can't
hired myself to go publish this copyright.
Yeah, I ordered and commissioned myself.
Yeah. That word
He's
order on this thing's kind of suspect.
Now see how they can't get around this? You can't Photoshop this, can you?
No.
That's why I'm with it being in too.
Is the Copyright Office known for scrubbing records? I mean, they would have done this. They would have gotten rid of all this already if they did, right?
Now look at this. We go to Wendy Washington now. See? Not Photoshopped.
And how did she get hooked into all this? How do you think?
Yes, Zionist Hollywood brought in a Jewish playwright, and she bit for it. She did it. Shame on her.
What's she up to today?
She's dead.
Oh, well, hope she's resting well. I hope she made her right choice, right?
Okay, so that shows you they can't get around this. They can't get around it. There's no way to get around it. That's that now, because I knew they would be saying they try to strike it like Sophia Stewart just did with her site, and they would try to say you photoshopped that. There's no way anybody can say that was photoshopped. No. As an editor, how long would it take to create something like that and create all those pieces in a flowing form? And
handheld footage trying to match up text is very difficult. You're hearing that from a lifelong editor here.
So give me an estimate on how much time it would take to Photoshop something like that.
10 or 20 hours. 10 or 20 hours at a minimum. And we're talking about 3.5 minute video.
It goes even farther into other entries. We're clicking on the entries, back. It's obviously copyright site. You can see it. So there's no way around it.
I've spent an hour per minute sometimes with music videos, but sometimes I've spent 10 minutes on a minute, or something like 10 minutes on a second on some music videos, and that's just trying to get everything to flow just right.
Right.
But if you're talking about like tracking text and moving, I think it's
impossible. It's impossible to get that
with the handheld and the jittery motions.
No way.
Trying to mimic it, it's like
it'd be impossible.
You need a whole fistful of Adderall for something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't take any of that stuff.
So that's what I'm saying. I don't think that it can't be done. You can't do it. I don't think anybody can do it. Not that
No.
footage, not like that. That's why I was purposely showing it like that and then showing off the side and coming back. And when you see us clicking on it and everything, no.
And then I have my own screenshots too from that site
Mm-hmm.
that are logged and time stamped. And it's just
And
from a few months
yeah.
ago.
And that's not the only ones I have. I mean, it's not. If you go back to share screen real quick, I purposely did this. So if you look at this one right here, watch, play.
Yeah, I think the biggest issue would be tracking with the text on the
Yeah.
image
Yeah.
to fake
Impossible.
it.
Impossible. See, there's no way. There's no way. So we got him.
Who's James Dune?
Joe Schmo nobody.
Okay.
They
just like Wasserstein.
Yep.
Here's the ticket. You got there. You got the.
And you can see why
the Zionist get out of jail free card.
Well, pick it apart. Why would they pick Wendy Wasserstein? She's a Jewish woman, Zionist Hollywood. They want to promote the Zionist people. And so what you do is she made it Heidi Chronicles on Broadway. That gives her credence, legitimacy in the eyes of the public, of course. So have her steal it. Have her steal it. Now, she's a rotten person because she said yes to stealing it. She's a bad person to have, she must know how hard it is to get a work into getting success and then wanting to be that greedy. Wendy Wasserstein's a bad person. Tom Hanks, an actor, and he said yes. And look how he is president of his own company. He was so greedy. Gives an insight to Tom Hanks. He was so greedy, he wants his own company on there, saying that he is, as president, he ordered and commissioned himself with Warner Brothers. He's so greedy that he wants his company on the copyright to steal the work.
Wow. So The Matrix was released in the US March 24th of 99. I thought it was done in the summer.
March. How about that?
And that's
Look
right
how
around
fast
the
they
times
went.
we're talking about. February 20, so like a month before it hit theaters, they're doing all these copyrights for the Immortals to keep that.
That's right. That's right.
My audience here should keep that one in mind.
And they had the full script identical from the 1995 copyright. See, so it's like they were ready to roll, and they did not expect to make 2 and 3. They didn't realize Matrix 1 would be that famous. They didn't think it would actually take off when they shot it, and so then they were ordered back to do 2 and 3. And the Wachowskis didn't know how to do it.
I really think those zip drives are some of your ace in the holes.
They are.
Like,
yeah,
that's even harder to like say. Yeah.
Well, that's the funny thing.
I made this up. I just copied it brand new onto this drive. Like,
well, isn't it interesting
these days anymore?
Here we get it off of Maui, just in time before they hit Maui, because we said we still had some things on Maui left, but they're not crucial, and they hit Maui.
Yeah, I think a lot of Lahaina in general is like a meeting point for a lot of important people. I think.
It was
the people that they want to like get rid of too. So
it was the capital of Hawaii, and they also want to create that utopian state of what Maui becomes. Then is you have a servitude class serving the elite, and that's why Oprah, Zucker, and you'll watch Elon Musk also,
and Dwayne Johnson.
Buying up large swaths of land. Aerosmith guys there. You got a Beatles guy, George Harrison. All these guys are Willie Nelson's there. Stead's there, and it's like all this. It's becoming a utopia for the elite. And incidentally, when the Homeland went there, FEMA Homeland, they were put up in the Grand Wailea where I worked, Grand Wailea, in $700 rooms in the Grand Wailea at the resort with the water slides and everything. And that's on the other side of the island. They're not set up like in a MASH unit at Lahaina where they need to be boots on the ground. They're set up in the other side of the island, living the high life in $700 rooms, being catered to with these water slides and water park. And it's like, they're not even there to do a job. They're not even there doing a job. They're on vacation. just to be, they have to be on site though, so they can say they were there. What a cushy job they've got.
So you got the like the order of events here over like let's say the past year.
All right.
You got the drives, the zip drives from
Yeah,
Maui.
right here. I'll hold them up. So
Then a few months ago, I was contacted about.
okay, 1 second. Let me get this. My headphones are sliding.
Oh yeah, yeah, no worries.
That's look at that.
And you even have the date written on that.
Yep, it's time stamped.
11/1/95. Like you can't
Time-
get past that.
Time stamped. Wait, also this. Look at these. These are fun.
Sweet. This is the original final draft too. You see,
We
like
got
I
the
always like
yep.
brings me like some pleasure seeing that old tech.
Yeah, we got the original Brother word processor that the Matrix story was created on. These tapes are golden too. And one of these tapes right here is, oh my God, these are the whole thing in it. You're going to hear more about a guy named Manning, Paul Mansheim is the one that worked with the FBI to try to put me away for life. And it's killer because this whole thing right here is where he tries to get me to be put away with a 302, working for the FBI. And
Oh
Pat
wow.
Robertson, working for Pat Robertson. And what you hear is he had a letter of instruction and everything. So they're not happy about that either. And yeah, we got so much here, so much that is time stamped, proven, and we got it off of Maui. We went before they bought off the guy that was holding stuff for me. So that's when I moved quickly. And we ordered a lock on the storage facility that had all this evidence, prime evidence, that the attorneys weren't able to steal. So all this prime evidence they wanted to get, their attorneys kept saying, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? And so we had a lock put on it. The friend who sold out couldn't get to it anymore. I got there, mailed it back, like $1,000 worth of postaging and stuff, and then took the floppy disk with me on the plane. The security people at the gate at Maui Airport in Kaului, they confiscated my final drafts and everything and all this this timestamp stuff. They confiscated this and didn't give it back. And so when I got on the plane, I was freaking out. And when I got on the plane, the pilot actually had the stewardess talking to me because I was saying like, something bad just happened. And the pilot called in from the plane in flight. The stewardess sat with me and like, we're going to get to the bottom of this. We're going to change this around. They orchestrated with a guy who had been at the gate who actually wanted an autograph because he knew I was a writer. He asked me, what I was doing. So these people came to bat for me right away. And they got it so that we got around the 24-hour rule where Homeland Security could have removed TSD, whatever, it could have removed my stuff and said, well, it was over 24 hours. So I'm on a plane flight going through this, and the real heroes are the pilot, the stewardesses, and the guy at the gate, who I have their cards now. It'll be part of the documentary for us all, Stephen. I want to feature them in it. And they said they wanted to be. That's the flight that made the huge difference. And I can't tell you what that was like, how great they were. And we got that. Now, we had it. I had to pay $80, over $80, to have just a little package sent to me.
Why didn't you send those along with the Brother computer that you shipped out?
I didn't want to send it through the mail. I wanted to carry it with me. I didn't want to leave them.
I totally get it too.
So that's why I have to hand it around security. TSA, I had to hand it around so just get through the x-ray machine.
What was their reason for confiscating it?
What they did was they just didn't give it back to me. I gave it to the guy to take it around.
To pretend like they forgot?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, that's
how they did it.
worst.
Yeah, that's how they did it.
Wow.
And then I heard, well, 24 hours, if you don't get it in 24 hours, I'm flying to Texas from Maui. How am I supposed to get it? That's where the guy stepped in. The guy at the gate stepped in. They held my flight because so many people were coming up asking for like autographs and wanting to talk when they realized I was really the guy. They got it, right? And the guy was like, oh my God, and gave me his card. So at the gate, they delayed the flight taking off because people were kind of coming around because they realized that he's the author because they saw the screenplay and the stuff we show, right? So they got it. They understood it. So the public's going to get it. It's like at depositions with Kate Chilton there, right? The main player who's on the run. The court reporter and the stenographer actually came up halfway during my deposition, 7.5 hours long. And I said, that must have been really boring hearing all this. And they said, no, it's fascinating. It's an honor to meet you. Shook my hand, showing us that we would win that thing if it came before a jury. That's why they had to have Rankin, the guy with the suspended license that they provided, run the statutes out. That's why when he was fired, we finally just fired him. That's why he says, and I have the email for you now to show you, that he allowed them to proceed to summary judgment with a phone call acting as the meeting. Half hour after he's fired, he allowed them to proceed to summary judgment without objection. This is the case. It's the only way.
Big guy. So user Big Island Beach says, "Aloha, Tom."
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. So yeah, there's some real heroes on Maui. There's some real heroes in Hawaii. And I'm definitely, it's interesting because Keanu Reeves hails from there. My boy was born there. Papa K, Big Island guy, you probably know Papa K was an elder, very revered elder. And he's the one that gave my son his middle name, Kamaka Ohalani. So I'm very much attached to Hawaii. And it's interesting that you have two figures, Keanu Reeves and myself, centered in Hawaii, battling this out. So bless Hawaii. And they're actually subjugating Hawaii now with this euthanasia law. The attorney who threw my case then became rich off of doing lawsuits where he's protecting the death coaches in Hawaii for euthanasia. They allow people to take their life with assisted suicide. And he's making a profit off that. It's again taking the land from Native Hawaiians. They're taking the land from indigenous Native Hawaiians.
They're doing that in Canada too.
Yes, they are. But get this.
Both taking the land and the
well, that's what happens. The death coaches somehow weasel in and talk these people who, instead of passing the inheritance to their children, right, keeping the sacred land in Hawaii, they talk them into giving the inheritance to the death coaches. That's just incredible. And that's what Tony Rankin's protecting, is their rights to take the land from the indigenous people by allowing them to assisted suicide. Think of it. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
They don't want us having multi-generational wealth. They want everybody to start from scratch.
That's why my sons are dead. That's why sons of Hawaii are dying. And that's why the children are missing in Maui. And that's why my sons were murdered, is they don't want, like you just said, the generational, like in my case, intellectual property, in their case, the land that they want to turn into Maui into a service state, a model state of what's going to be the one world order, the elite being served by a few that are left alive to serve them as a service class. That's what's happening. It's that bad. And Maui's the first model.
They want us to entertain them.
I'd like to see Maui get their rights back. Hawaiians,
I hope they do. They're fighting in their public court for it, real strong people. Like they've been doing this for years, and they have. Hey, wildfire or not, we're still talking about our land rights, and we're not going to let you build here.
I've been part of the Hawaiian Nation sites and things like that. I was invited in, and it's like, I'm going to continue the fight, and by getting my work back, I can help brothers and sisters get their stuff back.
Yeah,
so thank you back.
We're going to get it solidified and documented into a visual format so that it can't be refuted. All this information, just like you showed today, knocks it out of the park. You don't even need anything else from 2000 to now, because you got everything from the 90s, which is the most important in my opinion.
Exactly.
But they continually try to abuse you and break you down up till today, and that's the bigger topic too. That can't be forgotten. They are relentless in trying to break you down.
Look what happened to Dennis Quaid. What they did to him. Did I say his name right? He came out with
Randy, because I know we talked about Randy.
Randy, I'm sorry, Randy. So Randy comes out with a very eloquent speech about what's going on, and you can see he's genuine. He's moved about the loss of his friends that he loved in the industry and everything. He's talking about what's going on, exactly what happened to me. And then they break him. They drive him nuts. That's part of the plan. Wear you down, right? And they broke him. And I'm affected by what they did to me for sure, but they didn't break me. And that's why Kate Chilton is on the run right now. That's why she became Superior Court judge out of being a nothing. So look at her trail, right? I mean, can I just share screen one more time?
Yeah, go for it.
Let's look one more time. So let's go to Kate Chilton real quick. Where'd she go? Right here. So let's call her up. I can't stand it. This is the only face you're going to find online. when she was bragging about being part of the LGBT community as an attorney or judge. So watch this now.
Oh, so in the comments, we got a few more people. Hi, Julie Q. Wayseer. Big Island Beach said that Theater Maui did not burn.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
said typical. So you,
Yeah,
you both had
that's
the
exactly
same
right.
response.
The theater on Maui is connected to Disney and also connected. There's a place called MAPA, Maui Academy of Performing Arts, which is a pedophile ring. I worked there for 5 years. It is a pedophile ring where they allow pedophiles to continue to work on the children, and it is a blight in the culture. It is run by Hollies that are just totally off for themselves. David Johnson is Mom Pop Shop, which is just totally off for themselves. They need to shut down Maui Academy of Performing Arts. He was actually the one that was shielded by my godfather, the Italian mafia guy, who was
really?
umbrella over him. Yeah, who's Aiden's godfather. And so Maui Academy of Performing Arts needs to be stopped as a pedophile ring, and with the agenda to shut down. They won't do Hawaiian type material because they are catering to the white overlords, basically. So that's a bad situation right there. And boy, they sell out. But anyway, so look at this person right here. Here's Kate Chilton. Notice in 1985 to 90, right here, I'll just move the cursor. She's an associate for 2 years. Then she's an associate for 6 more years, if I'm not mistaken. See that?
Mm-hmm.
In 93, when I submit in 93, remember the submission letter? You
Yes.
see it right here, the submission letter 93. She becomes the failure who becomes in charge. Like Wachowski's failed at what they did. Sophia Stewart failed at what they did. Elon Musk failed at what he did. He was, like you were pointing out, he was going to go bankrupt. He was going to be cut off. And then they swoop in and save him and give him position to act as the theft person for the Neuralink.
He's not an inventor. He's an acquirer, like you
Yes,
said with
yeah.
Harvey
Joel Silver.
Weinstein.
Yeah.
Joel Silver, yeah.
Joel Silver. I don't make art, I acquire art. Yeah, that's what he is.
I mean,
and so
you can take that quote and just put Elon Musk at the end, and no one would know.
That's right. Well, that's the thing too. Like we said, here's Elon Musk saying now everything like myself. He's claiming when I was 5 years old or 6 years old, soft music playing in the background, like I said, soft music on his little documentary thing. When I was 5 and 6 years old, I couldn't stop the flow of ideas. They just wouldn't stop it. And I couldn't stop the flow of ideas. And people didn't realize I was an outsider in school. Yes, Tom Althouse was an outsider in school at 5, 6 years old. He was couldn't stop the ideas. And so Tom Althouse wrote them down and his notebooks full of them, inventions, music, you name it. Elon Musk, where's yours? Because if you are getting what you're claiming now, what I had, you create a volume of material. Where's your volume of material besides Neuralink stolen from this work? Very important piece. He's a shill. And this is the lady that put him in charge. And look at this. In 1993, when we showed that, James Boyd is submitting my work in 93, she becomes suddenly from associate, long-term associate, like the British Navy, where you have somebody who's like never moving up lieutenant.
Yeah.
Beyond it. Suddenly she's vice president, senior litigation counsel.
For 24 years.
How'd you move from associate to that?
24 years.
And in 2017, the honeypot wife has left us. We're broken. We're destroyed. So she becomes director of content litigation for Netflix, where they launder the work. The defendants with the thrown case all launder the work through Netflix. So she goes and is director of content litigation.
So in short answer, she was on Tom Watch this whole time.
All the time.
You were one of her assigned projects to
the only one.
Over.
The only one. Tom Althouse was her career. Just like Wachowski's career is made off of Tom Althouse. Just like Elon Musk's career is made off of Tom Althouse's tech. And they call him Tony Stark. Yeah. And this is the one that had him in Iron Man 2 featured, where Tony Stark character goes like, hey, there's Elon Musk. And he's just going doesn't even say anything. It's simply to present him to the public so then they can give him the tech. See, this monster right here is the one whose whole career was built. Now, I ask people who are watching, cover the mouth and look at the eyes. Look at the eyes covering the mouth. And what do you see in the eyes? And it scares the trash out of me. See the eyes?
Let's see.
Is it scary? Tell me that's not scary. Now put the mouth back on. Now tell me if the smile
see them around Niles a lot.
Tell me if the smile matches the eyes. Does the smile match the eyes? And this is real. This is important because you can tell genuine people like this. Look at that left eye, especially compared to the smile.
Yeah,
doesn't match.
I would just say that left eye is, I don't know how to
Scary.
describe
It's
this.
creepy. It's absolutely creepy. It's like, I am getting away with stuff. I am evil. Don't trust me. It's just like, wow. You can tell this by people. Look at Elon's eyes. Elon's
The
eyes.
craze, there's that, I don't want to say craze, but like the
Evil hate. It's just something's there that's just not right. It's
like
dark.
obsessing, and then
Yeah.
also like the vindictive.
Don't you cross me. Yeah.
That's in the other eye. I get that.
Yeah,
Very
that's it.
subtle things with body language, but
Very subtle. But Elon Musk has
can't
a
even
shark
find
eyes
anything
too.
else on this woman because she
They
cleaned
removed her.
herself up.
They
Cleaned it
cleaned
up
the
really
trail.
well.
That's exactly right. And then she becomes what? Superior Court judge for 2020. Therefore, if we go against these guys for what they stole, see the statute of limitations, 3 years. If we go against these guys for what they stole through Netflix, she's there as the Superior Court judge to make sure nothing goes through.
Yeah, and this second line here, it says Chilton won re-election for judge of the Superior Court of Los Angeles County in California outright in the primary of June 7th, 22, after the primary was canceled.
That's right. She's appointed by the governor instead, who then gets a payoff. Isn't that incredible? They're so stupid on their trail, but they don't think anybody can do anything about it. One of the reasons when I asked the question to the Disney rep that's on tape, it's on tape, I asked them, why was this done to my family? And they said, well, you have to understand it's all about power, and you dared to face us down. Interesting. And I was supposed to be the face of Christian Coalition. Elon Musk is supposed to be the face of God now, they say. And also, they said the reason they do what they do is because they can. Talk about a narcissistic answer. Because they can. And
they know they can get away with it.
And narcissists will blame their victims as being narcissists. This is exactly what Pat Robertson did. That's what Chilton did. That's what their shills do. Sophia Stewart claims I'm a narcissist. And if you go one more time just to rub this home, look what Sophia Stewart calls me. So let's get rid of this. And let's jump to Sophia Stewart. So here's Sophia Stewart in a message to me while she's offering a friend request. At the same time, on the side, she's writing a message that's sent to me by one of her friends. That Thomas, me, is not seeking justice, just pure ego and publicity. No thanks. While she's sending me a friend request. Then it says, you or Thomas will never accomplish anything. He is just a footnote, nothing else. You teamed up with a loser from a cult. Here, okay, egomaniac, right, is what she says. Look at her company name. Owner, writer, producer, All Eyes on Me, Incorporated.
Can't get any more egotistical than that.
A narcissist with a flamed ego calling an innocent person narcissist. That's how they do it.
Yeah.
And that picture here on this right is my mom, and she's descended from Swiss royalty. So we're the top of the bloodline in Cabal. Swiss royalty is considered the very top of the bloodlines, even beyond the Germans and the English. So Swiss royalty.
That's why they're trying to flood that country with migrants, correct?
Exactly. The Swiss Guard
stamp them
is the Vatican, top in all this, has Swiss Guard. So I think everything starts to line up when you look at it. Illuminati, you can bet the Swiss are all over that.
All right, screen share time for me. I like we're like tag teaming on this.
Yeah.
So I have let's this screen right here. So something that caught my eye is that they have 22 filming locations for the original Matrix. So you go down to the third before last, and it says Disney Studios, Sydney, Australia.
Course.
Brings it all together. So if you think
that is so important,
they're
oh my god,
they're not separate. Warner Brothers.
Get a screenshot of that.
Disney.
Get a screenshot if you haven't already. Get a screenshot of that.
Yeah, I'll do that.
It's very important. Now. And who does Pat Robertson send the work to through Ned and Judy Yankovic? Disney and Universal
Studios.
It says
they started production in '94. Your original stuff is from '93.
And when Joel Silver says he first submitted the work in '94, after I submitted in '93, but he says he doesn't get it from the Wachowskis till '95. He says
it very well could have been compiled off of what Silver said about that.
And as you said, 1998 is when they bring in Tom Hanks and claim as Tom Hanks and Wendy Wasserstein, tag them on at the end.
I didn't know there were more.
There's more Disney. Yeah, more Disneys.
Yeah, it just keeps going. And then stage 4, yeah, right here.
Yeah,
The bullet time scenes they were shot on Disney property.
they liked that. They liked that because my work talked about that very thing. Oh my God. Oh my God.
We're just finding out more and more every time we talk.
That's why she's on the run. She's on the run because we got it all. And that's why her last bastion of hope is saying statute limitations. And you'll hear, like I was blindsided by this one group. His name's Johnny Cicero or whatever. And he has this guy he brought on to blindside me. And this guy was a thug on his program, on his little panel. Starts going, you got statutes, you can't do it. You got statutes. And on, he's talking me down before I don't even get a word in. And that's exactly what Chilton's trying to do is this whole cover article as their butt runs away saying you can't do it. Not just you can't do statutes. You got this trial and death knell orders. No, in my condition, there is no statute of limitations, Catherine. We're still coming. You're not getting away. And that goes for Elon Musk too. Yeah. In the future, there will be Nuremberg trials. Yeah. So I'm not going to stop. I'm doing this in memory of my sons that were murdered, and they bragged that my sons were murdered. And it is Sophia Stewart that calls me too and brags and says, your sons are murdered because you're in a cult. It says it in her very message. So that's her job, is to try to taunt.
She's not very nice.
Yeah. And what she's doing now,
so many words.
What she's doing now is she's like, 50 to 60 years old, and she's showing her boobs on the air. No one wants to see them, Sophia. No one wants to see them. God help us. It's like down to there.
I went into the.
Do you have a shot of that? Show a shot of that if you got it.
I don't want to abuse my viewers here.
It's disgusting, but it should be shown. It should be shown.
Okay,
and then the big fat sunglasses, like she's some kind of celebrity. And then she holds a fake Academy Award that she didn't have. Unbelievable stuff. Unbelievable. So the question is ask ourselves is, why is she flashing cleavage? Yeah. She doesn't have anything else, right? She doesn't have anything in. Ask anybody, a 50 to 60-year-old woman flashing cleavage, I would say is desperate.
She's not interested in getting the truth out there.
Not the facts, right? No facts. No facts.
Look at her Twitter. She's trying to sell her book.
That's all it is. Look at her makeup she's done. Look at that makeover.
That's an Instagram filter on that. That's
my God.
You can tell the difference between the.
Yeah, look at that. She thinned up her face too. Yeah, and look how she softened her hair. God help us.
So I'm going to do a quick scroll so that my viewers' eyes don't burn too much here. But we go through, and she has all these things. She starts showing. The further back you go, the more cleavage there is. And I think that's her daughter there.
Oh my God. Look at that. Look at that. That's disgusting. So gross. What the hell?
All right, we'll peek one more time.
That's just sad. Look at the glasses. What's up with the glasses? That's where she says Matrix, Matrix, Matrix or something.
Yeah. Oh, you can probably hear this now, right?
Hey, hi, this is Sophia Stewart in Matrix.
That's her argument right there.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, I don't see you making like TikToks going.
And why is Matrix 4? Yeah, why is Matrix 4 made without her? If she claims she has the trademark.
Yeah, it should be written by Sophia Stewart.
Yeah. And what to point out is, again, oh my God. Oh my God. Like she's pulling it back. Oh my God. She wrote 33 pages, not a screenplay. 33 pages is not a screenplay. That's 33 minutes. Not a screenplay. What's with the sunglasses too? But anyway, so yeah, she's constantly trying to be honest. And now she's saying, get this, Stephen, maybe even on here still. She says the red pill is based on the blood of the children and is the good pill. The red pill is based on the blood of children and is the good pill. She's trying to counter our claim that the blue pill was originally a good one. The red was the bad.
I'm just looking for one more picture. Oh my
God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
See, that's what I said.
My God.
I'm scarred from looking at this shit.
What is going on?
If we could just scrub her from the internet and just leave all your stuff up.
Wait, that's her husband? That's her husband? No. That's her husband? She has a white guy husband that's
I was looking for a picture of him. He was further down somewhere. There. That's
her husband?
Yeah, I was going to say this guy probably was like the biggest Matrix nerd. And it's like, I'm gonna go marry Sophia
Oh
Stewart.
my God. That's what happened.
He's like in his 30s. Like,
That's
what
so
the shit?
insane. What an idiot. Larry Wachowski, his dominatrix married him because she said, I don't date clients, but I married Larry because he wrote The Matrix. All these false relationships
And
based on The Matrix.
they probably, I don't, okay. I'm gonna throw this out here, but knowing the type of people these are, they probably talk to each other like, you're my Neo, you're my Trinity.
Oh, yeah.
Like they reference the Wachowskis' work like throughout the entire thing while
Oh,
also
yeah.
claiming
Oh,
that
I'm
they own it.
sure. I'm sure. Yes. Oh, my God.
So,
Boy, she's
okay,
just
enough
set
of that.
herself up. Yeah. Set
Enough of the
herself up.
screen share of this one, but yeah, we had to take a look. We had to see
I
who
had
the
no
other
idea about
person
the
was.
husband thing. I had no idea about the husband thing.
Yeah, I thought it was just a boyfriend. I didn't know.
I didn't know either. Look at her. Look at her. Right there's her.
The eye thing. So let's go down to the just covering her eyes there or her face.
Yep, there it is again. Yep,
It's
you can
like
see
that
it.
hopeful look for like, please accept me.
Oh my God. That's just sad. Why would
Ah,
you do that? Is that her husband
ah.
there? That's an African American guy.
Yeah, well, it looks like she does a lot of black culture stuff. She had a Juneteenth
But I mean, that's not her
screen.
husband. That's not her husband. Okay.
No, I don't think so.
That's really bizarre. Interesting that she married a white guy.
I mean, she looked pretty when she was younger. And then
Well, that's Photoshop too.
she let Hollywood just complete. She sold out.
She sold out. She
She
sold out.
chose to take this role.
Right. And she hasn't written anything. She's never written a screenplay. Ever.
No.
Look at her right there. That's her. That's what
Yeah.
she looks like. Unbelievable.
Look,
She gets away with this urban legend.
she's on this like morning show with this weatherman guy. Is that who I
Yeah.
think? Oh no, that's someone else. But it is a news station.
Yeah, unbelievable. How she has snowed everybody. And Kate Chilton put her in position. Kate Chilton. This is absolutely incredible.
Just check this guy out. It's
I
like,
know. I know, like
yeah,
you said,
I
Matrix nerd.
married the creator of the Matrix.
Yeah, I'm somebody. I'm somebody now. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. And
I
that's how
don't.
she talks. When she contacted me first, she's like, when she's going to throw the case and working for Kate Chilton, she said, is that Tom Althouse? Put me on. She goes, you're one of the elite now. Your life is over as you know it. You're going to have celebrities like me. And just like, wow, the way she looks at people is that they're way beneath her. So exotic, pet. This is just sad. Okay, I think I had enough.
I have to. Yeah, it's starting to
Definitely
repeat.
enough. Definitely enough.
Okay.
God help us all.
Now
Wow. All right. Well,
we're at. Oh, we're still at 6 years, so we didn't scare everyone off.
God help us. All right. Well, this was important. This was very important. I'm glad for the people that are right there with us too on this one.
Yeah.
And
So,
yeah.
Tom, I know you asked to do this today, specifically this show to get
Right.
all of what we talked about on record,
Yeah.
so that in the future we can reference back to it. That,
Right.
yes, we found this at this time, and this has been there since however long ago. All that's very important for getting these details ironed out, because I know there's like these bigger questions about like why are they doing all this stuff, but really, we have the names of these people who are doing these things to Tom, and now we are exposing everything in a way. Even though like there's more that we're waiting on, like confirming. We don't want to falsely say anything, which is why
Right.
we're careful about what we talk about.
Right. And
Everything that Tom's brought is, I mean, it's checked out. I mean, you can take it from me, from my word, if you want to go off of that.
And the reason when people say, why was it taken? It's not just a screenplay with new ideas and concepts that are cool, as Warner Bros. Said. It also has tech through it, tech that could destroy our world and enslave us all. So the neural link is in the original work. So that's why they're doing this also, is it wasn't just the text and the cool ideas, as they said, it's the tech in there. And that's why they changed the trademark laws. Patent laws. They changed the patent laws in 2013. That it's not who creates it first, it's who slaps it on the spike first at the trademark office. So they changed that and took advantage of it immediately. Changed the law, take advantage of it immediately, just like they did with the Maui fires. For those, our hearts go out to Maui people. They changed the law. The governor changed the law that the zoning rights in historic areas restrictions would be lifted in July, just before the fires in a historic area in Lahaina. So you can't rebuild the Hawaiian capital as it was back in this day for the culture preserved. They're going now put whatever they want on it for the elite world forming there, that model city. So what you're going to have is the same thing. Just like in 9/11, the guy took an insurance policy out on 9/11 for terrorist attacks like 2 weeks before or so and cashed in. Wow, what do you know? Just happened to happen right afterwards. These are some of the things that are telltales
So
that, when they do this kind of stuff. So change the law in the trademark office,
glad,
slap it down.
Yeah, and I'm glad you're not saying that it's the same like tactics and weapons used in 2001 and today. I think they were slightly different. Major thing being thermite is the difference between these two.
Right.
I mean, it's one thing you have an empty building and a bunch of thermite on it, but then you have this town that the houses are incinerated down to the foundation.
Yeah.
And the tree across the street's fine. And then there's puddles of aluminum, which means that
trailing down. What's the temperature?
High intense heat for long periods of time causes the puddling. And you're telling me everything else is untouched. Like we looked at this one, a few pictures actually. Tom and I looked at a few where it was like it was Lahaina, but like the Buddha statue was untouched. Everything else was scorched around it.
That church.
Trying to say it's divine intervention.
Yeah.
Could be, but I want to say it's like they were told, don't burn the Buddha. And so they just go around.
We're told the Vatican is the main player in the cabal. The Vatican, the one that got the Nazis out and made sure they got their paperwork and absolved from their sins. They got new identities. And right out of Italy. And what you have, the southern route, and you got that church that's untouched with the devastation all around, even the parking lot. They walked a video through and outside it, not even a scratch, where everything's devastated around it. So it's interesting. It's kind of like you have property on Maui, right, in Lahaina, and you have a certain building, and you're the one orchestrating this attack, and your building's not touched. It's just the insanity of it all. And keep in mind that during the towers, when the tower event happened, people were told to go back upstairs. They were told to go back upstairs to their offices in building 2 before it collapsed. And the same thing in Lahaina, they're told, no, you can't pass. They blocked the roads off. They claimed it was for power lines down, but the powers were shut off. And they were sending these people back into Lahaina town, right? And so that's exactly what they did with the towers. They want a high body count. And it's sick, it's disgusting, and these guys need to be brought to trial for crimes against humanity, especially what's done to elderly and the children, that they've done to those children. I did performances for the kids in Maui for 11 years. And I saw how corrupt MAPA was, Maui Academy of Performing Arts, with David Johnson and his wife, Sally Sexton. And I saw how corrupt it was with the pedophiles getting to rule there. It was a nest for them. And he even said he allowed his pedophiles to continue because they got him bookings. It was all about greed and money for David Johnson on Maui and MAPA. It wasn't about the kids being served. And in fact, there was a show on Molokai where I lined up to do a show with them and asked if we could do it. And they got a grant. They said, we got all our kids will gather for the show. David Johnson said, we're not going. We won't make enough money off it. Really? David Johnston? So he's now with Warner Brothers, connected with them, getting a lot of rewards from them. In fact, get this. Joel Silver put his daughter's name, David Johnson's daughter, in Bates Motel, which is Joel Silver's production. You can look it up, Bates Motel. And so as an award to David Johnson for selling out on me, he, for me doing the right thing, he put his daughter's name. Now, you would think, well, maybe the daughter has a name that's common. Listen to the daughter's name. David Johnson's daughter, that becomes a prostitute, main character in Bates Motel, prostitute, is named Annika Johnson. How many people do a search on Annika Johnson? That's a unique name. But to reward David Johnson of Maui, of MAPA and his pedophile kingdom there, who works with young kids, with people like Mark Colmer, this guy who was just a pedophile out of where I was born, Abingdon, Pennsylvania. They brought him over to be a handler in the cabal, a Jewish Zionist pedophile. And so you see these guys like, where they get away with the crimes, they brag about it. And get this, one of the things that Mark Colmer did was when he was directing a show for David Johnson with these kids, young kids, underage, he told this male and female, there's like 15 years old. He told the male, 15-year-old male, okay, here's your direction for how to do this scene, right? He said, just grope her, just grope her. That was his direction given to a 15, 14-year-old girl. Then Mark Colmer from Abington, where I was from, is having an affair, sexual affair with a 14-year-old on the set. It was common knowledge throughout. David Johnson said, I'm going to let it go. It's fine because he gets me bookings. David Johnson on Maui is part of that whole thing for Hawaiians. Be aware, that Hallie needs to go. You need to make him pack up and leave. That Hallie needs to go if you want your children safe. Do not send your children to Maui Academy of Performing Arts. It is evil. And Joel Silver actually brought in a guy named Marcus Bradley, who's actually Bradley Marcus. So he brings in this guy.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, did I show you that? Where he's supposed to put me down? Here it is right here. And he slips his IP address.
Yeah.
Right? He slips his IP address. And what is he saying? Yeah, and listen to what he says. Marcus Bradley, who's actually Bradley Marcus, who works for Joel Silver with the Saturn Awards and gave the Saturn Awards to the Wachowskis. Now listen to what he says. The truth, Mr. Matrix, Althouse Summers, Heart Tours, egomaniac, Sophia Stewart's word, is that you are a fraud and a phony who bamboozled the entire populace of Maui into thinking you are a decent person. Well, I don't know how I pulled that off. You have, here it comes, you ready? Because we're Joel Silver covering for MAPPA, the pedophile kingdom, both MAPPA and Joel Silver, both pedophile group. And like Robertson's, you have defiled me and the great MAPPA. You've defiled me, and Hawaiians, people in Hawaii, take note. It's Joel Silver's guy. You defiled me and the great MAPPA. You need to cease and desist and leave my dear friend David Johnson alone. So Joel Silver's main guy is saying that David Johnson's dear friend. Get a clue?
Did they ask you to like return any membership things or anything?
No, they just tried to trash me constantly. Don't take it out on me.
Okay.
You weren't in Macbeth. Get over it. Worth more is more like worthless. Now the reason he's talking about Macbeth is I had said on Hawaii, because I was performing, I said, despite what David Johnson was doing to try to shut me down, I said, I'd love to do Macbeth again someday. I'm not superstitious about it. I'd love to do it someday. So they announced that Mappa's going to do Macbeth so that I'll be out of it, and it's like, they were just looking for any way to sting, So then he adds in the comment, don't take it out on me. You weren't Macbeth. Get over. I didn't ask to be in there, Macbeth. I wouldn't want to be in there, Macbeth. So yeah.
I remember hearing about the Macbeth story.
Isn't that something?
Like the plague or whatever's around it.
Yeah,
the superstition of performing the whole thing. It's been a while since I heard that.
So they're entrenched with these people that are paid off by Warner Brothers and Joel Silver and the studios to be the people that handle and also reward other groups where you are. And that's why MAPPA was rewarded. If there's one thing Hawaii can do to make itself better right off the bat, is get MAPPA closed down and put charges on them. If you're parents of the children that went there, do a class action suit against David Johnson and Sally Sesson, his wife. Do a class action suit, shut that man down, and save your children, protect them from this pedophile. And Mark Colmer too. And there's a guy named Brian Connolly, who is actually working for them, that claims that his greatest claim to fame is an extra for Spielberg. Interesting. So yeah, anyway, pedophile world. Yeah.
Big Island Beach says, I lived up in Aloha Theater, Big Island for years. And burnt off in Kiki.
Yeah, God bless you all, because I'll tell you, we've got to restore the culture. And they're mocking, saying like, you can't restore the land. You can't restore the land. I mean, all the businesses are there. Like they claim it, take it, put business on it, and say, well, we can't turn that around. It'll upset communities and life. You can do it.
High-rise hotels along that ocean front.
Of course they do. Want. That's what they zoned it that way.
That's the whole strip.
When you change the zoning, when you change the zoning laws a month before the event or less than a month before the event, that shows you it was all put in place. It was all planned out. And what the best thing Hawaii could do is restore Lahaina to what it was. I worked with the Historic Society there. I portrayed a whaler from the time, and was at the old Pioneer Inn and everything, the banyan tree. I stomped that ground all the time. And so what we need to do is restore the old fort. Hawaiians will know what I'm talking about. The old fort and the pond, that beautiful pond in Lahaina. Let's restore the culture and the way it was. If these fires have happened, turn it back. And let's do it as a memorial to those that were killed, that those children that were lost, those that drowned. Let's make a memorial by reinstituting
owned by the people.
By the people, restore the culture. and make
there's
that
this
memorial.
really slimy thing going around where it's like, yes, the government wants to acquire the land so they can put a memorial on it.
No,
Yeah, right.
no, restore Lahaina as it was the capital. I think it was under Kamehameha. Restore that and let that be the heartbeat of culture restored, and a monument and memorial to those that lost their lives, that were taken from them. That's what should be done. Do not accept a government memorial. Don't allow it. That's an insult.
The moment it becomes a national park, like, it's screwed.
Don't
Because
let it
then
happen.
the federal government's gonna own it, and then everybody who, like, actually owns the land that lives there, that appreciates the history, they're not going to be able to, because
What
they're going
should
to be
be
banned from going on that land.
what should be done right now, like when Rockefeller's groomed me, what should be done right now is archaeology. After we account for missing people and everything else, treat the land as sacred as it is, and do archaeology on it so we can get blueprints and foundations of what it actually was, along with historic records, and rebuild Lahaina town in its historic fashion.
I would actually, prior to doing that, I would like for Lahaina to either become and remain, for the time being, a crime scene zone, so that we can investigate what actually happened there.
Yes,
Because I
yes.
know they want to quickly just get rid of any evidence of anything.
Right, right.
Even if it was like a fart in the wind that started a fire hurricane or something, which it
Right.
wasn't.
No, it
But
was
even if
aircraft.
it was, like, we want to find the evidence to show them what happened
Right,
there.
right. This was a aircraft thing. I have insiders, and what's interesting is I want people to realize that you probably many already know this, especially from Hawaii. But there's two cars that are shown up in Upper Lahaina. Like when you go in Lahaina and you live there, you go up and suddenly it dead ends with one high school, and then you just have the mountainside, right? Well, there's this area up there where you had two cars, and it shows like a burn spot around the two cars that are melted with aluminum trailing off and all burned out engine and everything. And even this one dog was killed in the one car. But all the other areas intact around it, just that circle is intact. What I now understand, what I'm told, is that was the test shot where they tested the airplane beam thing. They tested it on that spot on those two cars, and it was like, okay, we test our tool, now we unleash it on the town. You've got the crime scene where they were testing the tool before they shoot it on Lahaina. Of course they're going to do a test shot. They did it on two cars, satisfactory, they launched it. Wait till we find out what they have. And part of this all goes back to Nazi Germany being taken care of by the CIA, Pentagon, FBI, protected as they kept to do research. This research has actually led to what happened on Maui. So you can thank the Pentagon for this happening with FBI congressmen, FBI agents that are lifelong FBI agents as congressmen, making sure these things happen. What's happening in Ukraine. We got their number. They're on the run. Watch for Brian Fitzpatrick to resign very soon too, as he's being caught. And it's all going to come together and all come out. And I'm not going to stop. I'm going to stay like a dog on their tail. I'm not going to let them get away with this. I'm going to keep going.
And I'm right next to you.
Oh, you're making it happen, Stephen. You're allowing it to happen, along with Brian.
I was going to mention that we have a TikTok, we have Instagram, we have Facebook, or it's my personal Facebook, but we also have a Substack. And if we can get everybody to start moving off of YouTube and going on, like, follow us on TikTok, follow us on the Substack, because that's where you'll find everything. And if YouTube ever removes this channel, which it has one strike for the next 3 months over a public comment of a mother reading an elementary school book that's not appropriate for children, and YouTube agreed it wasn't appropriate, and they struck my channel. So me just exposing all this stuff, I thought I'd get hit with putting content and clips up with you, but it was the other way around. It was me trying to look out for the rest of the country here,
right,
and the public schools. But
yes,
we're getting our reach out there really far with these reels and shorts, and getting so much positive response and support for you finding justice on everything that's happened.
Well, the piece was written for everybody. except the Wachowskis. It's like everybody's supposed to be able to take their work on it. It'll be owning it as copyright law is supposed to have it at a certain time. You own it. That's what I plan to do. What I want to do is, since they're so afraid of the blue pill idea, that was actually originally the good, like any child would say the red was bad, the blue is good. And they reversed it when they took it, the work, they reversed it. Now everybody says a red pill. I'd like to have something that goes out there that people, if they feel like they're well versed on this enough, because their other side's afraid of people being educated on this, that we have something out there. I don't know if it's a bumper sticker or something that we can put out there where people start to spread the word, where they may be asked, what does that mean? You know, the blue's the good one. What does that mean? Or something else that sparks conversation. I do want to have that start to happen, where we get stuff out there where people who feel that they feel ready to have it can engage others in facts that they know. Because this is, you're not going to see this in mainstream media. Someone said, you know, why haven't I seen this before? Because the mainstream media shuts down what they don't want, and they cater to the elite and the Pentagon and everybody else. So it's like they're going to put forward and groom people who they want. So the big telltale is that if you see someone well groomed, bet your bottom dollar they're with the cabal. If you don't see somebody well groomed, it's shut down, and is their site's getting struck, things like that, shadow banned, you're getting strikes. Probably they're telling the truth. They're not, you know, not going to be as well groomed, but they're telling you the truth, and they don't want that in the mainstream. Mainstream is the tool of the cabal.
And if they are well groomed, but they are telling the truth, they're mixing lies in with it too.
Yes,
Defines,
you're right.
this defines the gatekeepers.
Yes.
So you try to go to different like routes of information, trying to learn about things, and there's almost like blockades, but they're people. And Tom and I talked about this a few days ago. One of the gatekeepers is Tom Hanks.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing stuff with his own production company, hiring himself. He's a gatekeeper. He looks like a good guy. This isn't just Woody the toy doll doing voices and stuff, or Forrest Gump. Like, this guy is like knee deep with Epstein and everything you can think of.
Right.
Beyond your wildest horrors.
Yes.
Is Tom Hanks.
And
then
you can see
also,
it. Yeah.
You have every facet of media has these gatekeepers. If it's not Tom Hanks, it's Alex Jones.
Right.
And the list goes on.
Well,
because he's not allowed to say the J word. And if he was allowed to say it, maybe I'd believe that he's not a gatekeeper, but he's like on some Saudi thing. He's trying to blame everything on the Saudis. And I just don't understand it. The Saudis do not run Hollywood. The Saudis are not trying to put banks in every country around the world. It's not the Saudis, okay?
Right.
It's not.
That's what they do. They pick their guy they can blame it on. And I wanted to share a screen one more time with you. Just want to show you something because you just brought it up to me. Okay, we talked about this before. And yes, this is a single picture of Tom Hanks. Look at the eyes again. I want people to realize you can spot these phonies through their eyes. Cover the mouth again and look at the eyes. It's like, what the heck just happened?
Hey man, you got a cigarette?
Yeah, like really. Like
that's the look.
Yeah, I'm with you. I know.
I'm jonesing for that next little girl.
Yeah, exactly.
Got one?
It's that scary. It is that scary. So narcissists cannot get away from the masks they wear. They cannot show you genuine empathy
can't hide
or
their deeds.
They can't. The eyes
they
will
show
them.
it. Yeah.
There's no way around it. They don't know how to do it. They don't know how to cover it. So every role they play, then how these narcissist performers, you know, that are the ones they have deeply embedded, like Keanu Reeves, you're going to see the eyes. And it's like, for us watching the films, a lot of times we're like, something's missing. Well, unless they're playing a villain out to harm children, it's not going to match very well, the eyes. Yeah. Anyway.
Keanu always looks like he's just gotten off a 20-hour shift.
That's what I thought too. Yeah.
Well, you're saying about the gaunt face, where like just everything's just kind of just sunken in and
collapsed in.
I think with somebody as such a high caliber as him, he'd be taking care of himself a little more.
Right. No, he parties all the time. Anyway, thanks for doing this. This is really big. This is
good. Tom,
Tom,
you are always welcome here. And you know, I'm really excited about like the stuff we're talking about working on. So
we're working on,
that it will not be a secret for long, but we got some good stuff coming. And yeah, like I said, everybody watching here on YouTube, try to find the TikTok. You'll find out it's like Tom's face is on probably 200 of the videos, so you should be able to find them. And then the Substack link, you can find that in any description of more of my recent videos on YouTube. And Tom can be found on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook too, but Facebook's being a little weird right now, right?
Right.
So
And that's
just
the thing. Yeah.
people can search Tom's name and you'll see him. You'll see his picture. I don't think there's anybody out there impersonating you. So when they
Well,
find you,
Elon Musk is the one that's trying to imitate everything that I've claimed and given the work
yeah,
to do that. But other than that, no. And what's interesting about Sophia Stewart is we've invited her so many times, go ahead and show what you got, show what you got. She calls me enough, and to mock. But the thing is, where's her proof? Where's her evidence? Where is it? Besides trying to sell a book, or put down stupid things like the red pill is based on blood of children and good pill. It's just countering for Warner Brothers. It's just like, no, show us the evidence, Sophia Stewart. Lay it out. Don't just talk to us and talk us to death.
Sophia has only proven herself to just want to make a quick buck. And she's hired by Warner Brothers. It makes sense.
And now she's being called on the carpet by many, many different groups and institutions online. So if you scroll her name now, like you saw, you showed me, it was like, just like, fake, no, fake, didn't win, fake, didn't win, fake, didn't win. She's starting to be called back on it now. And the fact that Matrix 4 was made without her when she claimed that she had the trademark, the way she talks, she'd be going after them if she was legit.
Oh,
and,
if anything was true about her story, and
she's on it.
And they greenlit 4, that would have not.
She's
been
a bulldog.
alone.
She's a bulldog. Yeah, she would not stop. So anyway, yeah. But thank you, Stephen. This is great.
And thank you again, Tom. It's
Sure.
it's so I think every Saturday, the first Saturday of the month at 11 should work for us for the most part.
It'll work for It'll work good. Yeah.
So if
we'll have a lot more
anybody's
information.
looking, like we're ready to. I mean, I can talk to you for like 10 hours here. Yeah, but we just need to like keep it to the point, and we covered exactly what we needed to. But in another month, the first Sunday, we'll be doing this again. So it's probably the 7th of October.
Yeah. And did we ever cover the bad things of the Neuralink? Did we ever do that yet?
No, we haven't.
Let's
you want to do that real quickly?
Let's just lay it down for evidence sake that before Elon Musk starts talking about it, let's lay it down as this date. Okay.
Yeah.
Some of the bad things. Okay. Some of the bad things about the Neuralink we talked about. It'll be used for interrogation. It'll also be used to convict people that are innocent people. One of the ways they'll also be used for intellectual property acquisition. They'll take your own memories. Talk about identity theft. In a robbery, they won't be taking your purse or your wallet. They'll be taking your Neuralink. They'll have access to all your codes, all your bank accounts, all your passwords. They will be able to know what your child does, everything else. They'll have your intimate moments with your loved one that they can replay as entertainment and live and feel what you felt. Think about it. There's so much bad about the Neuralink. Also, in interrogation,
complete invasion of privacy.
Complete invasion, identity theft off the scale like you wouldn't believe. Also, Neuralink will be used in interrogation such as this. They'll call you into a room and they'll say things like this. Okay, we're concerned for your safety. We don't want you to harm yourself. We're going to pull your Neuralink now. Now, you haven't done anything. You haven't done a crime or anything. You have a sister say that you need to be pulled away, that you're waving a gun around, whatever they want to say, like she does. So, and you didn't, but they pull you in anyway. Your child's in front of you too. And
does it have teeth like a capacitor?
It has a connection where it plugs in like a RC whatever unit. It's just like tuck twist.
Okay.
Very simple. It's gentle. They overblew it into this like long, embellished everything.
Giant needle on,
yeah,
like
so
a spike
stupid.
needle on a
so
rope.
Stupid. Yeah. So anyway, what will happen is you'll be interrogated like this. They'll come in, if you're in a room, your child will be there, brought in at a certain point of that interrogation. Also, you'll be told that, listen, we're for your own safety. You'll use these words. We don't want you to harm yourself. We're going to pull your Neuralink. Don't worry. We'll give you medication to help you because you're going to lose bodily functions. You're not going to be used to this. It's going to be frightening. But we'll give you some medication to help calm you down, is what they'll say. Then what they'll do is they'll take your child in front of you and they'll take the child and say, look, we got to help your child also. They'll pull the Neuralink from your child. They'll wet themselves. They will be losing bodily function in front of you. Also, they won't remember your name. They'll be scared, silly. and they're going to have that no memory because they've been dependent on it. Then they'll put a different program in later in them where they'll have a different personality. It'll be different memories, different everything. They won't remember you anymore. That program will include, as the Immortals shows also, that the Neuralink will allow them to implant that you were the person that committed a crime. You're the stranger danger. You're the bad person. So your own child will see you as a monster. That's what they do. That'll perfect it. Also, you will be given, if you give your Neuralink back, it'll be cleansed of all kinds of things. One of the things they'll do is put blockers where you won't even be able to have faith in God. Believe it or not, if you do this, you will not be able to, it'll block as misinformation and things like that need to be cleansed for a healthy mental capacity or state. So it'll actually take you and make it so that they'll say it as medically sound, help you heal from mental disorders. They'll claim you have one. And this will not allow you to actually feel faith in God. It'll actually take that away and block that connection. So it's basically selling your soul. It's the mark of the beast. Also, what's going to happen is they can take your chip and all ideas are there. They also can take that chip if they have you target you by the state and draw any memory to convict you publicly, show that memory online. Let's say you had a thought about somebody in an appropriate manner in your life. They'll draw that memory out and make a big deal out of that. If you're especially a public figure, that you had this trip, watch them thinking about this person at this moment, and yeah, so they'll get you coming and going. It's basically they got you. Identity theft, like I said. Also, one of the things they'll be doing with the Neuralink that's very, very bad is they can do a mass input where everybody suddenly gets, because you'll have news feeds and these things too. And what's going to happen is you'll suddenly get this like Manchurian candidate effect. Believe it or not, yeah, they actually want to do that. They think that would be cool, where we all get this input at the same time and this feeling with it that it's right
So
and
like
true.
a Borg mind type of
In a
thing?
sense, yeah, hive thing.
Hive
And
mind,
what, yeah, and they can do it at a certain point in time when they want to.
Oh,
And you create mob mentality, mass frenzy. Now there's different levels of society. People that can handle certain things better than others. So just think of a population that's been targeted as and tagged as pliable to mental disorders. And those are the ones that are fed a certain thing at a time to come after something or do something at the same time. Also, by monkeying with your Neuralink, they can have you appear publicly, completely disoriented, and you'll be a Joe Biden, basically. You'll come up there totally disoriented, unable to focus your thoughts, and they'll say, look, they're crazy. That's not the person they said they were. They couldn't have possibly created this work. It's our work. Look how this, look, they don't even know how to take care of their own child. Child services move in, take your child away because you're incapable of being a good parent for them. It's unbelievable what this thing can do. There's the benefits too, which Elon Musk is going to be talking about. That's why they're paying close attention to what we say. We need to establish some of those things right now. You have to protect this work so it doesn't go anywhere and doesn't get lost, because he's going to claim these things after I claim them. One of the things Neuralink does do well is library memories. Now, they're going to claim that because I pitched that at the pitch session. Library memories, they're saying it now anyway. Alzheimer's patients, yes, I had said that. Now, Elon Musk is claiming that too because I said that. What I hadn't said before, just started to, and I'll say it here on your program, is that there's going to be a Neuralink application for parents in first aid kits. So what's going to happen is if you have a car accident, something like that, you are going to take this emergency first aid chip, plug it in as a parent. You'll be able to do surgery on your child. You'll be able to help them. You'll be able to do trauma instantly, like learning to fly the helicopter instantly. You'll be able to be a med first responder with your child at that accident scene. It'll help you focus exactly on what you need to do to save the child. The first couple of moments, I was a first responder. The first couple of moments is the most crucial in saving a life. It's the most important, where the blood flow to the organs it has to be kept going, things like this. Now, panic usually ensues for the parent, and they're waiting for the ambulance team to come. You are the ambulance team as soon as you put the medical Neuralink in. Now, Elon Musk is going to start talking about this since we said it, because he's desperate to know what's positive about it. We need to protect this, date this, make sure we see it here first. All right, so that's one of the things too. Alzheimer's patients, we did mention that. Yes, it's going to allow them to have the memory. We're going to have a library of memories. He'll be saying this too probably soon. Library of memories of all kinds of elderly that were shut away in homes. We're going to have their stories, like the Brothers Grimm turned into Brothers Glee. You're going to have a plaque of each person with their permission, especially shut away people, where it has a plaque in the name, and it'll have their most cherished memories. A library, a sanctuary of all these different people. A library of memories of humanity, where you go in and you can see you'll live the most special memory, most cherished memory of each person, teaching us that all life does have value. All life does matter. And this will be a testimony to humanity advancing and evolving, where we're embracing all life. It will be, just imagine going into this place, library memories, where you're living the most cherished memories of each person. Just think what it does for our elderly, where they get, I'm sorry I'm talking fast, but this is important to me. So I'm think this fast. What you'll see is elderly they don't want to be shut away and their property just taken. They want to spend their years giving their wisdom and their stories to the next generation after them, the grandchildren. That's been stripped away from families. That's part of the plan that Kate Chilton and these others had. The cabal and the one world order. You got to break up the family system. They took away the Walton system, replaced it with something disastrous. So in the normal system, you're helping the grandkids with wisdom as a grandparent, and also your stories and things like this, and you're there to care for them. You also have where the kids are they're not latchkeys. The grandparents are there to take care of them. And you also have the memories. So they want to give these gifts of memories instead of being shut away and just abandoned. It's torture. So they will know that their memories will count and will matter, and that generations to come will live their memories and feel their most finest moments. What a blessing to humanity. So yes, the Neuralink can do this, and Elon Musk will be talking about this soon because they want to claim credit for it. So you've timestamped this, you've seen it first. That's part of the good things about the Neuralink. There's so much more. There's so many more applications that'll be very, very good. One of the things is suicide prevention. Let's just name this. Elon Musk will claim it later. Let's establish it first as the creator of the Neuralink or enhancer. What's going to happen if you have a child that's suicidal, right, Stephen? He's in front of you, and for your audience too. You have a child that's suicidal, right? Now, the big problem with suicide is a lot of people feel it's hopeless to talk. They feel like, I can explain this, but nobody's going to get it. It's hopeless to try to tell my story. I have nowhere to go. It's over. So why even try? Let me end my life. Okay, that's what they say. Now, I'm a big proponent on life matters. I would never end my life. That's why they try to say that I'm going to, because they need to have that happen. Right, there you go. So here's what happens to the Neuralink. The one thing it can do that's really, really good with suicide people. You have a child who's suicidal. You don't want to say them, right? As a parent, you're allowed to take their Neuralink with their permission, plug in their Neuralink. You will feel and know exactly what that child feels. That child will know that you know exactly what they feel. The child will know exactly that you understand. And with a look, Stephen, I'm very affected by this. With a look, you can save a child's life. You can save your child's life, because you'll look at them and they'll see you knowing. They know you know exactly what they feel, what they felt, what they couldn't express. And you two are sharing a moment just visually with each other where you both understand and know, and that will save a life. That will save their life.
I
Give
think
it
that would
back.
also change our whole social structure in
It
how we
will.
understand people and others.
It may become part of marriage, where if you're accepting another person's life, that you're going to be committed to them, sickness and health, whatever it is, and however that evolves. If you take the Neuralink for a moment, exchange not just rings, but the Neuralink, and have an understanding and feeling of exactly what they want most and how they love you, that should be part of the ceremony. It's part of the ceremony that you actually do become one. What happens in the original screenplay, Stephen? In the original screenplay, the architect's son takes the architect's, they stripped this out. It was too complicated for the Wachowskis when they sold the work. He takes his father's Neuralink and plugs it in and says, now we are one, because he has all his father's memories. If you want to have a relationship and you're going to commit to somebody, you would know all the bads, goods, dreams, knots, farts, burps, everything. You'd know everything about your other person, your partner, and that becomes sacred between you, each other. What do people say usually in long-term relationships that last? They know all my secrets. They know everything about me. With a Neuralink, this will be possible, but only for the marriage, not for the state, not for Elon Musk to take it and create a library of this stuff where you just do it for entertainment. This will be between two people completely knowing each other and allowed to do that in the ceremony. So there's another positive thing Elon Musk will be talking about later. So protect this right now. Time-stamped, proven. We said it first. That's very important. As the creator, it's very important.
It's
that
good
we say this first.
we have my desktop time stamp on the bottom
Very
right-hand
important.
corner.
Very important. Because Elon Musk will claim this later. Because he doesn't know what to say. He says Alzheimer's. He doesn't know how to describe it. It's
No,
embarrassing.
he's too busy trying to smoke weed on Joe Rogan's podcast than
There you
actually
go.
explaining what Neuralink is. He's just like, oh, AI might not be a good idea. But
He has no idea. He has no idea. He has no idea. And that's why I've been kept. One of the things was the no-touch rule was placed, because the CIA says, it's even their Hitler release things. CIA says they want to keep their primary sources, their assets intact. because until they understand fully about the technology that they're trying to take. So I have given you a bunch of stuff that's positive, not everything, purposely not everything, Stephen, but you have enough to see. Watch Elon Musk now want to get this stuff out. But we've heard it first.
Watch, he's on Rogan next week.
You heard it first here. You heard it first here. And I want you to tag it if he makes this move and starts saying this stuff, because they watch heavily what we say. And now they're just like wet with excitement. I guarantee you, I know the context tell me what's going on. So they're going to want to somehow release this through him as, look at this wonderful man who's intended this. But keep in mind, he never said it before, did he? He never said these things before. So it's a hindsight play. Just like the Wachowskis are saying in hindsight, oh, Matrix was about transgender. We didn't hear that in 1999. We didn't hear it all the years later. We heard it after they steal their work again, after they shut me down and steal Matrix 4. Then they're claiming it. Where was it before? Watch Elon Musk do the same thing. He'll claim these great things now. Why didn't you say that before, Elon? Yeah, I'll have excuses.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Stephen, for doing this. So keep this safe. Keep it safe.
Locked and loaded. We're going to
Good.
be on every social media platform. This interview is not going anywhere.
Get the pluses out there. Definitely get a short with the pluses out there and lock it down as time stamped. And then we'll just put a point out there. Watch for Elon Musk to claim these very things when he never said it before. Yeah.
Yep.
Stealing from the creator.
And keep an eye out for Brian Fitzpatrick resigning. So
yes,
that's another thing.
Yes. Now the Ukraine
things.
thing's exploding on their face. Yeah, we didn't let it go. We showed the article. We didn't let it go. And before you leave, one quick thing before we go here. Let me just pop that up again. The article that they don't want you to see. I'm going to pop up both versions here. Hold on. I got to get that out of the way. Okay, okay, where are we at? Fitzpatrick. Where'd you go? Don't tell me. Oh, you're right there, buried under that. Okay, here, we'll pop up this one. See Joe Biden looking up? The FBI allowed Biden to bribe Ukraine. It was the FBI that got rid of Shokin. And they were saying that if Shokin didn't go, Ukraine wouldn't get the billions that was promised. The $1 billion loan grant.
And yeah, I think this is like being over the target, so to speak, because this was a catalyst for everything that's going on with indictments and stuff. And
that's right. And this is the man. This Pee Wee Herman congressman, FBI, lifelong FBI. This Pee Wee Herman lookalike, doppelganger, is the one that was sent to Ukraine. This is a cover article in the local newspaper. Cover article after the 302 attempt failed on me because I was bringing forward what was going on. 302 fails. So he's there going like, yeah, well, everybody wanted Shokin gone. There was look at this quote right here. There was a general consensus that Shokin wasn't moving on the cases that existed. He wasn't pushing for reforms. They keep going on about why they removed Shokin, which disrupted the whole protection on Ukraine.
Yeah.
Right? Fitzpatrick's time in Kyiv, now renewed interest, coincides with ousting of Ukrainian official, right? The official in question, former Ukrainian prosecutor, General Viktor Shokin, the equivalent of the United States Attorney General. Shokin served. And he keeps making excuses why he had to go. Fitzpatrick's office did not, okay. Fitzpatrick's office, Viktor Shokin, was that he was not cooperative with the FBI's anti-corruption efforts in Ukraine. That he was posed a hindrance regarding numerous investigative matters, Fitzpatrick's office wrote. Fitzpatrick's office, the FBI, got rid of Shokin, which Biden's going to possibly be impeached for. It was the FBI that did it, Stephen and listeners. It was the FBI, this man right here, who then tried to put me away on a 302. That was put in place by Kate Shilton from Hollywood, California, FBI office from Wilshire Boulevard, where Shilton is. See how it all comes together? Then they formed labs to do bio testing on Ukrainian population. And they got all spooked when the Russians were rushing towards the bio labs and said, you can't get there, we can't touch it, you can't touch it. Because all their weaponized biological entities were there. And they didn't want the Russians and Chinese to see it. How the America was the culprits. American had become the Nazis, basically. Yeah.
I think they've started just juggling too many balls. And the juggler is starting to drop some of those balls.
The Joker's caught on the throne. The Joker's caught sitting on the king's throne. The Joker's caught sitting on the throne. And he doesn't know what to do. No excuses. So, well done, Stephen. Thanks for doing this.
My pleasure. Cool. And until the next one.
All right.
I'll say it again. Class dismissed.
Yeah. Yes. Let's bring it home. Bring it home. Could you imagine if I had all the PR from the mainstream media and people
Oh,
would get it when they.
this would have been over last year. Or this would have been over in 93, 94.
And that's why I was held by the Rockefellers and groomed by them. They were setting me aside for that to happen. And then the Wachowskis were given the work, and Chilton came up with their little plan. All right, take care, Stephen.
All right,
All right.
you as well, Tom.
All right, take care.